Hello everyone, welcome to Sim Reviews, and we are back with another video. In this video we have here the new YU Yuphoria. That's the second phone after the Eureka by the Micromax owned brand, the second brand by Micromax. So let's just start with this phone. As you can see here is the handset called Yuphoria, and particularly a good phone in terms of design. The overall design reminds of the Sony Xperia Z series from this metal band running sides of the phone. The back camera somewhat is like the Lumia 830, and overall design, but it's great to see great design such an extent by a new company. So let's just start with the design. A metal band you can see running sides the phone. There's the micro USB port at the bottom of the smartphone, a headphone jack 3.5 mm, and here's the your earpiece front camera, your proximity sensor, and down here is the microphone here. At the back you have speaker grill bottom at the bottom. Above is the rear camera with flash and a secondary microphone for noise cancellation. So here's the overall design. Let's just unlock the phone. As you can see, the YU brand would be running Cyanogen OS with their phones, and have specifically contract signed with the Cyanogen for their customization of the OS. So Cyanogen is basically a stock Android with some of the customizations you get with it. So the customizations is like you can set what icons or toggles you want on your notification drawer or notification bar, how you want your battery to indicate, and different things. So in overall it's a stock Android. So stock Android is a big thumbs up from me due to its operability, its simplicity, and user friendliness. So stock Android is a big yes, and especially this phone comes with 16 GB of inbuilt memory. With you get around 12 GB of usable memory, and that's quite good considering the price range. The price is of 7,000, and looking at the design and also different aspect, this phone feels more than 7,000, or maybe even more than that. So it is it the best phone in that price range? Let's see ahead. So starting up with a review, we have been using this device from more than a week now, and it's quite good. Testing the calls and different things, we haven't seen any call drops yet. And speaking of the calls, it's dual SIM, so you can actually insert two SIMs in it. And of course, in India 4G is not that much widespread till now, so this is the future ready phone with both the SIMs supporting 4G LTE, and you get actually a future proof phone where if you have a 4G SIM card in the later time, you can just you are good to go with this, and it supports all of the bands compatible with Indian LTE bands. As you see, you have a near to the stock Android experience which you get from the Motorola phones and the Nexus series phones from the Google. So it's a great news for the users. And let's just start with the software tour of this phone. You get 5.0.2 Android Lollipop with this, and maybe 5.1 Lollipop coming in the later updates. So as this phone launched, it had much of the issues with the proximity sensor and camera. So now that's solved with the with an update that's of around 39 MB update. That's what we got when around 2 to 3 days later we bought the phone. Let's just start with the camera. It's a stock camera of the Cyanogen OS with different settings here. All of this setting camera video, where you can even record a slow motion video, that's slow-mo on 720p. There's no support for the 1080p slow-mo videos, but that's great. Actually, you can record the videos greatly, and the videos are much more capable of recording all of those clarity and all of those detail, as it's an 8 megapixel camera. And talking about the front facing camera, it's also a great 5 megapixel camera, so that takes a crisp and clear selfie with this. And also, as it's Cyanogen, you get this themes where you can customize all of this, from icons to the on-screen keys, and from even the status bar or notification, and all of those things. Speaking about the usability, this phone is quite great, as the volume rockers are very great and tactile, but the power button is not that tactile as it should be. But no complaints with this 7,000 budget phone, as all of things given is are great. And actually, you feel that this is one of the most a great phone you would have in this price range. Comparing it with Eureka, it does not performs better than the Eureka, but it does performs as close to as Eureka, because Eureka is has more powerful processor than it, and also a greater camera. But speaking of this phone, it surely steps at the point where Eureka exits. Then, as U brand has a great reputation with Eureka devices, and built this reputation, they actually have now a good stand by launching this YU Yuphoria. And speaking about all of those great things, you actually have much more RAM free when you switch on the phone. As when we switched on the phone first time, it was around 1.4 GB of free RAM available for all your apps to run, and all of the apps run without a lag. We didn't notice any lag during our testing of the phone, during the calling. Even the Wi-Fi networks are great and solid. Even when other phones fail at the weakest Wi-Fi network, this phone was still working with catching up those in networks, and didn't got time to test the 4G, as where we live we don't have 4G yet here. So 3G works very great, and good to go with this 3G. And maybe in later time we would test the 4G if we get that in our region where we live. So let's just end our review. We would be doing more such reviews on this phone, with maybe performance or camera review, to in detail camera review and performance. And talking about the Antutu benchmark, it got around 21,000 and more than 21,000 score on the Antutu benchmarking. And the stability test, at the point of stability testing, the temperature of this device at different performance levels remains around 45 to 40 degrees, and that's great. The stability is much more great in this phone. And as I'm disappointed as well, it's not 10-point multi-touch, as this other phones come with 10-point multi-touch. It's just 5-point multi-touch, 720p display, 5 inch. So it's great. We don't need 10 fingers on such a small screen. So it's big thumbs up to the U for making such a great phone. So let's just end the review here. Do not forget to hit that like button down below. Do ask your queries and suggestions for us for making more great videos in future. Do subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to do that too. And we would meet you in next review. Thanks for watching. This is Sim Reviews saying bye.